Always pleasure to see you. Everybody talks about hydrogen, and I'm sure as well you heard about it and you're thinking about what can be the opportunity for me. Yeah. So what can be the opportunity for my company? So what do you think they are, right? Do you have any idea at all? So are you planning to tap into this industry? If you don't, maybe you want to look at the free opportunity that I have to talk to you about, right? So just before we dive into that, let me just reintroduce myself. So my name is Tony Teal. I'm the founder and CEO of Renewables in Africa. What we do, we are your global clean energy champion. What we do is make sure that we simplify this industry for you so that you know what you will talk about, giving you the information, the insight that you need to make your decision. Decision that could be difficult for you if, for example, if an investor, you want to tap into the sector, but you don't know necessarily whether you understand that well enough in order for you to make billion-dollar, million-dollars decision, right? So we are here to help you. Decision that could be difficult. If you are a business, you say, I clearly, sincerely want to decarbonize, but it's so difficult because there's so many things at stake in my business. Yeah, I like to become green, like say, not just because it's for the market purposes, but because I also believe into it. But how can I make it happen? We definitely make it easier for you to do it. Yeah, simply look at the video that we've done so far, and I'm pretty much sure you'll be satisfied. A decision that could be difficult as well. If you say, I can see the future is moving towards the green space, right? We need to decarbonize. And I like to tap into that because if I manage to position myself, that's another 30, 40 years ahead of me, that and I wouldn't have to worry at all about my business. But how would I do that? Because I have no idea whatsoever where to start. Or even I have already an idea, I'm already in the industry, I don't know how to expand my career. That's the reason having video that we're having, right? That's the reason you have our channel. So what if you want to have questions to answers, sorry, to all these questions, subscribe to our channel and you'll find your answer to your questions. Yeah. So just want to let you know that Sunday, yet we actually broadcast from 5 platforms. You definitely can find us on LinkedIn. You definitely can find us on YouTube. You definitely can find us on Twitter. You definitely can find us on Telegram, and definitely can Facebook. Whichever platform you feel comfortable. Ideally, you want to subscribe to them. Yes, you want to subscribe to all, because this way, right, you know that you can't miss any of our content on that. Excellent. Oh, I think there was a little bit of a issue with the live, right? I believe we're back on track. Yeah, excellent. Just say that we have 5 platforms that we wanted to connect with: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, and what is the one I'm forgetting? YouTube, obviously. Subscribe to that, and you will have all the information you need for you to make the transition requested. Now, let's come back into the question of today. So, hydrogen, that must be one of the most talked about topic nowadays in the industry. I remember back in the days when I started, we're talking about offshore wind. This was the one thing people were not sure about, right? But now hydrogen, everybody want to tap into hydrogen. Maybe because they see that as a real possibility, right? For industry to decarbonize using something I believe that a lot more credible into their eyes in order to reach the target that we set out to ourselves, right? The Paris Agreement. Now, looking at this hydrogen industry, what can be the opportunity that are there for you? And the reason I want to talk to you about that, because I know, especially if you're a business, if you're an investor, yes, clearly you can see that's the right thing to do, but it also has to make sense financially for you, right? So everybody is aware of that. Everybody that's a bit sensible is aware of that, yeah? And you also want to make sure that as industry, the world is racing towards this direction. How can you make sure that you position yourself to, first of all, identify the opportunities that are there, and also secondly, making sure that you tap into them in order to exploit it with your company? That is the reason that is the reason I want you to be following what we're saying and make sure that you tap into. Today is actually free opportunity that I want to talk to you about. There may be more, and they clearly more opportunity, but I just want to limit that to free. Obviously, we can't spend the whole afternoon about that because you have, I guess, many other things to do, and so do I as well. So let me just dive into that, correctly, immediately, and I share that with you. And what I like you is to just comment down there. Let me know, and obviously, you have questions. Feel free to ask me questions, and it will be a pleasure for me to respond to them as well. Right? Excellent. So let's do that. So, what is the first opportunity? Let me just share my screen right now, and we can go into the first opportunity, and you can what you feel. Okay, the first opportunity. Let me just share that I could see. Just a second for my screen to come up. Obviously, yes, this is the first opportunity that I'm seeing here, right? So it's electrolyzer, right? Because you can't talk about the hydrogens without talking about the electrolyzer. Because if you need to produce that energy, right, you need to play with the obviously anode and cathode, and basically the electrolyzer will play obviously the the liquid where those electrodes it's actually been fit in. Yeah, it's called the electrolyzer, right? And how did it happen? Today is a whole industry that's going to be there. There will be a cornerstone of the hydrogen economy, right? So clearly, at the moment, they are seen as a relatively niche sector focused on just small scale kilowatt or megawatt project. But the scale of electrolyzer would be increasing. You can see, for example, in the graph that I'm showing, right, that the market is going to grow. Right at the moment, we're 2023. You could see the market's kind of split between China. You have Europe, but also America, and that's we're talking about what we're talking about something like and you can look at China 2.2, 1.4 for Europe, and then 1.2 in in Americas. So altogether, we're talking about what something like barely five gigawatt, but it's going to be expanding a lot more than that. Yeah, and that's what we're here to see, and we believe that reducing electrolyzer costs will be vital, right? Not only 2023, but going forward, in order for you to actually realize economy of scales, right? So that is something that will be good. So basically investing to automate the production process as much as possible will also be key. Yeah, and electrolyzer, that's what I feel based on researches that we've done and other people research that we've read. So what I could actually see, it's that electrolyzer will become a commodity product, creating opportunities for suppliers to provide so a service outcome based offering. So for you to find a way to reduce the use of rare noble metals in electrolyzer will also be important. Focus on on the full or the entire emission footprint of the electrolyzer. So basically, if you understand that, that's great. So my question to you, do you have, for example, a business that is operating in this sector? If you have a business that operates in this sector, here is an opportunity you want to know. Or you have a business that you can transform to tap into this. Because like I say, the market at the bottom, you see what it is. We talked about 5 gigawatt, but it's just going to expand significantly. Look at the projection all the way to 2030, right? We're talking about what? It's going to be multiplied by what? Something like 20? By a factor of 20. If you have a market and if you can capture the market right now, I can see that the horizon is quite rosy for you going forward. And this is exactly what we are talking about today. Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's the first opportunity we want to talk about. So let me now move into the second opportunity, and you will see the second opportunity is as interesting as the first. I'm hoping that the first that which is the electrolyzer build out. I'm hoping that already you could see and sense, or some of you could see and sense how they can position themselves into this. This is what I'm saying. So if you understand the global market, renewables energy or clean energy, if you understand where things are going, if you know where are the opportunity and you know how to position yourself, hey, tomorrow you could be the billion-dollar company basically delivering just those products to the customers, right? So this is what it is all about. Now let me move into the second opportunity. So let me again share my screen. Hopefully you can see. I'm just gonna make a tempo here. So hopefully you can see. I believe you can see the second opportunity, right? And that's another big one, which is obviously the carbon capture for blue hydrogen. Let me just very quickly remind you that blue hydrogen is the production of hydrogen using natural gas. Because if you do not know that, you should know it, which is that hydrogen per se, it's not a new technology. What is new, or what is actually become newer, put it that way, it's actually the way you're producing this hydrogen. If you're using natural gas, that's blue hydrogen. If you're using coal, that's gray hydrogen. Obviously, if you're using renewable energy sources, this is the green hydrogen, right? So carbon capture for blue hydrogen, that's another sector that you may find very interesting for you and for your business. Yeah. So why? Because so the market for carbon capture in for the carbon capture blue hydrogen, so it's forecast to be worth probably more than $60 million. That was in 2022, 2023, but it's expected to reach like more than 3 billion by 2030. Yeah, 3 billion, that's what it's supposed to be reaching. So we're talking about what? So we're talking about that's almost multiplied by 100, right? A little bit less than 100, but that's in a matter of what, 7 years, right? And that's significant. If you look at the growth rate, that's great. And basically the figure that I have showing you here, saying that obviously the 99%, that's the coal gasifications, carbon capture, that is dominating the market. Americas, that's where we see the highest growth, 140%. So we also have some strong growth that we see in Asia Pacific. Yeah. So in blue hydrogen, from natural gas, accounts at the moment for 90% of the production of hydrogen, and that's probably why we're talking about a carbon capture, because the large majority of the production of hydrogen today is still done with natural gas. That's why you would need to find a way to decarbonize that, and that is why I'm talking about these opportunities. So I'm really hoping that people that are watching today, they're taking note. Yes, you should be taking note, because like as I say, so this is where real opportunities are for you. Yeah, so you want to be making sure that if you have the right skills for that, just make sure that you position your company and you can tap into it. This will be very, very interesting, yeah, for you as a business. So what we have here as well, we have obviously Europe, that is accounting for what we talk about 46% of the market 2030. So that is what we see. So let me now again move out to the last opportunity that we have here. As I say again, there are more opportunities that we could talk about here, but I just want to come back to three that I can give for you to see that the market is growing and you can position your company. Yeah, you can make sure that if you are a company that delivering those services or can deliver those services, what are you doing for people to get to know you? That's the other thing for you. I'm telling you, if you see this opportunity, but if you're not able to get the market to understand that you are one of these company, right, that are going to be designing the future for them, with them, whoa, you're going to be missing out. Yeah. So how do you do it? What's the awareness program that you have to take you forward? I definitely want you to talk to me about that, yeah? Because I believe that if you don't have an idea how to make sure that market knows about you, you want to be talking to us, because I'll be very interested to show you what we've been able to do with people just like you. Let me just first of all carry on and share the last opportunity that I have for you here, right? So give me a second to share my screen as I've done for the others. I believe now you can see the screen. Am I correct? Yeah, I think if not, let me just make sure that I give some time to people. Okay, that one is kind of obvious, right? But it's one, because industrial decarbonization, that's another big opportunity, rocketing growth opportunity, like I said. Because what do we know? We know that the industrial sector largely, depends on fossil fuel to meet energy demand, and you have heat that make up what 2/3 of the industrial energy demand across all industrial processes. So yeah, so clearly decarbonizing this would be something very important. But the change, it's difficult across many industrial segments. So you have, for example, segments that are very much energy intensive. You have steel, cement, metal. So they require high temperature, and that can only at the moment obtain using a fossil fuel based system. So to decarbonize this industry, the utilization of green or low carbon hydrogen, so basically as an option to supply heat, or as feedstock, it's a promising alternative. Yeah. So that because and that's what this graph represents, right? You see the different processes that you have, and you see at the moment, how the blue hydrogen that is being used, it's filling up those or not filling up. I just want to say it's carrying on those tasks, right? So which is the hydrogen turbine. You have also the hydrogen furnace for medium grade heat. That is what you see at the moment. So green can come and just help accelerate this process, right? So that would be good. So, and the kind of industrial sector we're talking about here, that would be industrial processes which require high carbon hydrogen, right? So, or ammonia, as a chemical feedstock. That's an example. You have as well processes that rely on fossil fuel to reach extremely high temperature. We're talking about 1,000 degree Celsius, or maybe other industrial processes that are difficult to electrify. Yeah. So, and this is what I wanted to share with you today. Yeah. So these are the three opportunities that I have for you here. So we talked about the electrolyzer build out. Definitely something you want to be looking at. Carbon capture for blue hydrogen, the industrial decarbonization. Those are three big topics where I believe you can position yourself if you haven't done so. This is how you can take advantage of the hydrogen economy. And as I say, there's a lot more happening in the hydrogen economy. And yeah, and that's something that's, I suppose, that you want to be you want to be doing. So hopefully it does make sense. And then yeah, and hopefully, yeah, you'll be tapping into that with your company and you'll be exploiting that. So that's all I had to share for today. So hopefully it was interesting enough for you. If you have any question, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do my best to respond to the question, right? Excellent. So we see you tomorrow, where we go back with the one day one concept idea, and you will see a lot more conversation that you and I are gonna have. So have a great day. Bye bye.